At last, my love has come along. My lonely days are over, and life is like a song. Ooh, yeah, at last. The skies above, they are blue. Oh, my heart was wrapped up in clover. The night I looked to you. Ooh, I found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I could call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I could never have known. Ooh, when you smile, then and there the spell was cast. Now here we are in heaven, for you are mine at last.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Swift Guitar Lessons. Today I'm sharing with you a very long overdue lesson on the Etta James classic, At Last. We're going to start off emulating the string sections with some bluesy licks over an E7 chord, then move into a jazzy chord progression with some challenging changes. Let's get started. Okay, so we have a close look at the neck. I'm going to start off demonstrating the intro section. I'll break it down part by part. It's going to sound like this. Okay, section number 1 will sound like this. All I'm doing there is I have an E major chord shape. I'm plucking my low E and high E string together. Next, I'm going to grab that dominant 7. That's the 3rd fret of the B string. I'm going to grab that with my pinky there. Then I have the open B string. At this point, my 3rd finger is going to come down and grab the 2nd fret of the G string. That's an A note. Before hammering down onto the 1st fret of the G string, the major 3rd. Open B string finishes the phrase. Okay, so we have open E strings, 3rd fret B string, open B string. I'm grabbing the 2nd fret of the G string, and then I hammer on down on the 1st fret of the G string, followed by open B. Whole phrase sounds like this. Okay, and if you want to get a little extra pop on those strings, you can use your middle finger if you're doing some hybrid picking. And if you want to make it a little bit bluesier, you can actually bend that 3rd fret with the B string. Okay, moving on to the next section, it's going to sound like this. Okay, so I'm starting off with a little walk up, open E string, a slide up to the 4th fret of that same low E string, the 2nd fret of the A string, it's a B note. So far we have. Next I'm going to play my A major chord, but I'm going to do so by barring everything on the 2nd fret from the D string to the B string. But I'm going to add my pinky to the 5th fret of the B string. Get that little high note in there, a high E note. Okay, so that's going to sound like this. And I just gradually kind of stroll down the chord. So So it's a slow strum, followed by this next section. Sounds like this. Okay, that little chord there at the end is actually an inversion of an F sharp chord, F sharp 7. And you don't necessarily have to play it. We could have just played the 4th fret of the D string, which is an F sharp note. So for the more advanced players out there, we will be trying to get together this more complicated chord. But for the beginners out there, or intermediate players, maybe we'll just stick here on the F sharp note until you can get that down. Okay, so that section, one more time, it's going to sound like this. Or if you're having trouble with that chord, this sounds fine as well. Before going back into the next section. Okay, so that is 3rd fret of the B string, 2nd fret of the B string, open B, 2nd fret G, open G, and then a slide from 4th fret to the 5th fret and back. Then the 2nd fret, and then the F sharp note, or the F sharp dominant 7 inversion chord. Okay, so to create this chord, all we're doing is taking our 3rd finger, putting it on the 6th fret of the E string. Your 1st finger will go here on the 4th fret of the D string, pinky beneath that on the 6th fret of the G, and the middle finger is here on the 5th fret of the B string. So we have. Okay, putting that all into context, it's gonna sound like this. Okay, the next part, we're basically just repeating the first section again, just shortening it up a little bit. It's going to sound like this. And then we're going up to a C sharp dominant 7. Okay, to get this part down, again, it's the open E strings, low E and high E string together, 3rd fret B string, open B, 2nd fret G with the 3rd finger coming down, and then a slide up to a C sharp 7 chord, which is middle finger here on the 4th fret of the A string, 1st finger here on the 3rd fret of the D string, and my 3rd finger down here on the G string 4th fret. Okay, we have one more section. It's going to sound like this. All right, so that was from the C sharp 7. I'm just playing the 3rd fret of the D string, walking up to 1/2 step up. It's the 4th fret of the D. Then I'm playing C7, same shape I had here on the C sharp, just down 1 fret. Then I'm going to take that chord down 1 more fret again to the key of B. And I might even hit the open B string too, if I feel like strumming all the way through that. Okay, so that section again, from the C sharp 7. One more time, a little cleaner. Okay, here's the whole thing in its entirety. One more time, very slow. Okay, now that you have the intro down, we're ready to get into the A section of the verse. The chords we're going to be needing: E major, C sharp minor. Okay, that's barring everything on the 4th fret in case you don't know. 3rd finger is here on the 6th fret of the D string, my pinky beneath that on the G, and my middle finger is here on the B string 5th fret. Next, we're going to another bar chord. This is F sharp minor. I'm barring everything here on the 2nd fret, where my 3rd finger is here on the 4th fret of the A, and the pinky is beneath that on the D string. Next, we'll need a B dominant 7. Okay, in case you don't know, middle finger's here on the 2nd fret of the A string, 1st finger's here on the 1st fret of the D. My 3rd finger is here on the G string 2nd fret. And if I'm strumming all the way through, my pinky will be here on the high E string 2nd fret. And then we're back to E major. So for that verse, E major, C sharp minor, F sharp minor, B dominant 7, back to E major. Okay, so we're going to play that a few times. It's going to sound like this with some vocals.
At last, my love has come along. My lonely days are over, and life is like a song.
And it's at that point right there, we're going to switch up our chords. Instead of going to the C sharp minor 7, we're going to play a C sharp dominant 7, but in a slightly different finger position than we did before. This time, playing it more of a traditional kind of way. My 3rd finger is here on the 4th fret of the A string, middle finger here on the D string 3rd fret, pinky down on the G string 4th fret, and my 1st finger here on the B string 2nd fret, and I'm not going to be including either of my E strings. Next, we just drag that down 1 fret, and then finally to the key of B, strumming only down to the B string. Okay, let's give that verse a try. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
At last, my love has come along. My lonely days are over, and life is like a song.
So switch it up, drag it down, B7.
At last,
The whole thing will repeat.
skies above a bloom, my heart was wrapped up in clover. The night I looked at you.
All right, and at the end of the 2nd loop around of that verse, we're going to throw in just a typical bluesy turnaround. E major, A7, I like to add in the pinky there on the high E string 3rd fret, back to the E major. And then convention would tell us to throw in a B dominant 7, but I like to throw in another chord, a B augmented chord. Okay, so before moving on to the B section, I'm going to show you how you can throw in that B augmented in the center of the verse. So we're going through the chord progression: E major, C sharp minor, F sharp minor, B7. The first pass, I just keep it normal. And then on the 2nd time around, just like that, just throw in a short little change there. B7, B augmented. So all I'm doing there is I'm just taking the 3rd and pinky off of the chord.
My heart was wrapped up in clover.
All right, now one last thing you can add into the A section of your verses, a little walk up between the E major and C sharp minor chords. It's gonna sound like this. Okay, so all I did there is I played my E major, strum, little slap, then I'm gonna slide up to the 4th fret of the E string, 2nd fret of the A string, and that's gonna launch us right up into our C sharp minor chord. Again, real slow. E, slap, slide, 2nd fret, C sharp minor. Okay, now that we have the A section down, we're ready to move on to the B section. Starting off with a B augmented chord. It's gonna sound like this. I found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I could call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I could never have known. Ooh. All right, then we'll go back into the verse. Okay, so the chords needed, we're going to need F sharp minor, a B dominant 7, an E major, and then I might do a little walk up to the C sharp minor. Next, this is where the whole thing kind of throws me through a loop. It's a very nice change to an E flat major. Okay, we haven't seen this chord yet, so this is everything barring on the 6th fret from the A string to the high E string, and I'm creating a little A chord shape here on the 8th fret, D string, G string, and B string. But I prefer to do a double bar. My 3rd finger will just flatten over top of those senior strings as I bar from the A string down to the high E string. And I may even strum to my B string, depends upon how long your fingers are. Okay, to put that into context, F sharp minor, B dominant 7, E, walk, C sharp minor, E flat major, to the E, and then back. So it's just a very quick modulation before going to G sharp minor. It's the same chord we had here, but up one whole step, barring everything on the 4th fret. My 3rd finger and pinky are on the A string and D strings of the 6th fret. Sometimes I like to throw in a very dramatic stop before going on to the next part. C sharp minor, F sharp major. Okay, so this is the same chord we had here, except my middle finger now is on the 3rd fret of the G string. Next, we're going on to probably the most jazzy chord on the guitar, the major 7, in this case in the key of B. We have a B major 7 chord. I'm barring everything on the 2nd fret. My 3rd finger is here on the D string, 4th fret. My middle finger is here on the 3rd fret of the G string, and my pinky is on the 4th fret of the B. Strumming all the way down to my high E string. Next, we go up 1 fret with the root. So the chord stayed the same, but the 1st finger just dragged up 1 fret. And that makes this a C minor 7 flat 5. Fancy name, but just a quick little passing chord. That part repeats. That whole little section, C sharp minor, F sharp major, and then just a B dominant 7. Then I'll throw in one more B augmented before heading back into the verse section. Okay, so that whole section that we're calling the B section will sound like this. F sharp minor, B dominant 7, E, walk 2, C sharp minor, E flat, E, E flat, G sharp minor, C sharp minor, F sharp major, B major 7, walk, just pass into C minor 7 flat 5, back to the C sharp minor, F sharp major, and then B dominant 7 before a B augmented comes in. All right, now with the words. I found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I could call my own. I found a thrill, C sharp minor, F sharp major, to press my cheek to, B major 7, sharp up the root. A thrill that I, C sharp minor, F major, could never have known, B dominant 7, woo, B augmented, right back into the verse. Okay, one last stop. We're just trying to find a nice way to end the tune. We're starting off on the last verse, starting from that B augmented, where the B section dropped us off. When you smiled, business as usual. Then and there, the spell was cast.
Now here we are in heaven, for you are mine.
Okay, so in that section, I'm just taking my E major chord and I'm reprising the intro. Bending the 3rd fret of the B string just slightly, open B, 2nd fret of the G string with the 3rd finger here, hammer on to the 1st fret of the G string, my major 3rd, and then the open B string. And then I like to hit a very high, pretty E major 7 chord. It's the same shape that we had down here earlier in the tune. Now I'm just borrowing the 7th fret from the A string to the high E string. 3rd finger is on the 9th fret of the D string. Middle finger is on the 8th fret of the G, and my pinky is here on the 9th fret of the B string. Open E string low, just to kind of ring out and help me transfer over. And I strike the chord. Alright everyone, thanks so much for checking out this lesson on At Last by Etta James. I got plenty more videos coming up, so keep checking back. Please share and please subscribe. I'm Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.